Hey everybody, I hope you are well. I am, as you can tell, back in Hartford today. I'm also off crutches, which happened last week just before I went away to spend some time in New Hampshire at the side of a lake with my brothers and their families. My first recommendation is spend some time in and around a lakefront. It was good therapy in all kinds of ways, including lots of swimming for me, because that's the next thing in what I'm allowed to do in terms of getting around. So that was quite a nice break. And now it's August, which is kind of shocking. But thankfully it's cooling down a little bit today, and people aren't facing the same kind of punishing heat that we had for a little while there. I am in Hartford today because we have a bond commission meeting at 10:30, at which we will, it's a fairly focused package that we're voting on today, but it includes things, for example, relating to the big energy bill we passed this year, which included provisions that will remove some of the costs that used to appear on your electric bill. We are taking out of the bill and putting bonding for them instead, and that includes things like related to COVID costs, legacy storm debt, things that the utilities couldn't plan for that were beyond the usual, and we're moving those onto the bond agenda instead. Also includes some funding to preserve over 5,000 acres that used to be a reservoir used by the state of Hartford, which they no longer use, and there have been a number of ways that we've taken action both privately and with state funds to preserve that, and there's some additional funding in there today to make sure that stays preserved. It's a pretty spectacular 5,000 acres. It's the Colebrook Reservoir West Branch Reservoir System. And it's spectacular. It includes lots of recreation opportunities too. So glad we could preserve that. It has some funding for McCall Behavioral Health, which is an important substance abuse and behavioral health organization that is available for basically all of Western Connecticut. Does incredible service to people who really need it. And some funding for North Canaan Fire Company for infrastructure repair. So big things, little things. And hopefully we will vote on that. Usually we vote without issue on the agenda in front of us. The battle is what is getting things on the agenda in the first place. But we'll confirm whether it's all approved in the actual newsletter. Also, in other news, earlier this week there was a referendum on the towns on Lake Warmog, so in Washington and Kent, on the use of wakeboards. Proposed prohibition on the use of, not the use of wakeboards, but wake boats, passed overwhelmingly. I think the tally was 1,452 for and 421 against. So I'll get a little bit more word on that in the newsletter. And now that it's August, there are tons of events, and I'm really glad that am more mobile and I'm able to attend all of them today. Of course, the Bond Commission meeting later this afternoon. I'm going to go to the Litchfield County 4-H Fair, which I always love. I get the best tours from the kids who are competing in various, both either with their care for animals or their showing of animals, crafts of all kinds. So I'm looking forward to stopping by there. It's also Weekend in Norfolk, which is always chock full of fun events, and I'm going to look through that. That's today and through the weekend. Tomorrow is the Sharon Craft Fair, and then on Sunday we'll be in a conference in Boston. This is again the National Council of State Legislatures, which I participate in and attend a number of their conferences. This is sort of their pre-conference. I'm on two task forces that will be meeting on Sunday. One of them is on state and local taxation, on which we will meet on a number of topics, but including taking a look at the nationwide impact of the federal budget bill, the one big beautiful bill. Hesitate to use those adjectives, but it does have significant impact on state and local taxation, including some things are positive for Connecticut residents and others not so much. So I'm looking forward to sitting down with legislators from other states to take a look at that on Sunday. We actually had a meeting yesterday. All the House committee chairs met to think more broadly about what the impact of that bill is, both literally in terms of cuts. Sometimes they are clear cuts in funding. Sometimes they're the kind of chatter you see when funding, like with respect to a lot of veterans issues, for example, funding is withdrawn and then returned and then withdrawn and then returned in part. The instability in and of itself creates a lot of chaos and difficulty for those agencies. And so we're both looking at the instability and the overall reduction in funds, which is going to have an impact on people. And so we will likely be having a variety of committees are looking at the impact of that bill on their work, both the immediate work and the follow-on effects when people lose jobs, when work in certain area restricts out of fear of opposing the administration, all kinds of ways. So we will likely have some sort of hearings and informational sessions before regular session begins in February. So we'll have lots of conversation about that. And then next week includes, on that note, we will have a public hearing on what's called LIHEAP funding, which is Low Income Heating Assistance Program. That is a federal block grant. So we'll have some updates on how that's going to work this year. There's a ribbon cutting for an affordable housing project in Lakeville. It's the Kent Sidewalk Festival. So again, August is the time to be in the Northwest Corner. There's lots going on, and I really do look forward to seeing you out there. Hope you have a great weekend. See you soon.